Hello and welcome. This is your 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good. I welcome you all to today's session where we cover the important news stories for the day from important newspapers like the Hindu, the Indian Express, PIB, down to earth, etc. and convert them into prelims specific questions. There will be 5 questions for you today. Do see how much do you score by pausing on the question screen, thinking about the answer and then checking whether you got the answer right or wrong. If you're new here and if you're coming here for the first time, or if you're old but somehow you have not hit the subscribe button, I request you to hit that subscribe and the like button. That would be really appreciated in the long run. As you know, I've recently launched a few programs. One of them is a personal guidance cum mentorship program for Prelims 2025, where I will be guiding you personally, preparing a timetable for you, keeping a track of all the things that you need to study to prepare and make sure that you cover the entire syllabus. I am holding a live session to answer all your doubts about this program. This live session will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. If you want to participate and if you want to know how this program can help you better, drop me a text on this WhatsApp and I'll share the link with you. Many of you have already registered. If you still have any questions, you can join this session and ask all those questions. Also, I recently launched a booklet for ethics answer writing. This booklet has 100 solved questions for ethics and 50 model case studies which are all solved. You can buy that from my app again. The name of the app is Harshmeet Study Circle. It's available on the Android Play Store. You can also check out the link of the app in the description of the video. Let's begin now with the first question. Consider the following statements with regards to distributed denial of service or DDoS attack. Number 1. Unlike other kinds of cyber attacks, DDoS assaults don't attempt to breach your security parameter. Second, DDoS attacks are carried out with network of internet connected machines. And third, DDoS attack aims to make your website and servers unavailable to legitimate users. How many of these are correct? Now, yesterday, Donald Trump was being interviewed by Elon Musk. He was interviewing him on his own platform X. However, the interview started late. There was about a delay of half an hour or so. Elon Musk said that is because the server was hacked due to a DDoS attack. What exactly is this? Remember when you check your results of class 12 or even UPSC result, when the result comes out, you try and check it on the website, but the website just would not open because it is being opened from so many different places, from so many different machines, IPs, it is being pinged. So the website server gets busy. This is what DDoS attack is. When an artificial situation is created where the website, the server will be pinged from so many different areas, it will not be open for other users. The legitimate users will not be able to open it up. So first, second, third, all 3 are correct. DDoS attacks don't breach into your machine. They just make sure that your server becomes so busy that it is just not able to take any request from the legitimate user. So the answer in this case is C. All the 3 statements here are absolutely correct. This is the article in the Indian Express newspaper about the DDoS attack because of the Trump-Musk interview glitch. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements with regards to ballast water. First, when a ship discharges cargo, it rises up in the water and therefore, to keep a minimum level of immersion, ship staff take in sea water called ballast water inside tanks in the ship. Second, since ballast water carries invasive species into other countries that destroy ecosystems, global shipping has sought to regulate ballast water discharge. Third, India is a member of Ballast Water Management Convention of the International Maritime Organization that came into force in 2017 to help prevent the spread of potentially harmful aquatic organisms and pathogens in ships' ballast water. How many of these are correct? Slightly tricky question. You usually read this in geography environment. When the cargo ships, let's say there's a cargo ship going from India to Australia, in order to have a proper balance, in order for them to be immersed into the water, they basically intake some water from Indian Sea, from our own areas, and then they go on their journey to maintain that stability. So when that water is released, for example, let's say in Australia, when the ship has to balance, it has to be releasing that water. So some species of water that existed in India, they get introduced to Australia. Now you might think that it doesn't make a lot of difference, but it does in the long run. When invasive species that don't belong to a region come into a region, they can destroy the food chain and that becomes very problematic. That is the problem with ballast water. So first and second are correct. Third is wrong because India is not a member. there is this convention since 2017 that is called the Ballast Water Management Convention of IMO. India is not a member of it. The answer thus is B. Two of these are correct. The third statement is wrong. Someone requested me in the comment section, can you highlight the wrong statements in these questions? So I'm doing that as well for you. The wrong part is India is a member, because India is not a member of this particular convention. The Hindu newspaper has this important article today about Indian laws of movement of ballast water. That is why it is important. It is in the news because a National Green Tribunal has sought a fine of 160 crore rupees on Kamarajar port in Tamil Nadu, saying that they have to spend all this money to remove the invasive species. That is why they have to spend all this money. Next is question number 3. Consider the following statements with regards to the Geop Pari scheme. Number 1, it is a central sponsored scheme. Second, it is implemented by Ministry of Minority Affairs for arresting the population decline of Parsi community in India. Third, the scheme has 3 components only: medical assistance, advocacy and health of community. How many of these are correct? Now, the Parsi community population has been on a decline for some time now, and the Minority Affairs Ministry thus has launched multiple initiatives, including the Geop Pari scheme. The reason why it is in the news is that the government has now launched an online portal also for this scheme to give out information for the Parsi community and for them to register wherever they need certain help. First is wrong. It is a central sector scheme and not a central sponsored scheme. Second is correct, and so is third statement. The scheme has 3 components: medical assistance, advocacy and the health of the community. The answer thus is B. 2 only correct. First statement is wrong, so I have highlighted the first statement here for your own revision. This is the article in the Hindu newspaper. Kiran Rijiju, Union Minister for Minority Affairs, launched the portal for Geop Pari scheme, which, as the article tells you, it's a central sector scheme, not a central sponsored scheme. Next, question number 4. Which of the following is not true? First, melting polar ice caps have caused the earth to spin slower. Second, when an ice skater rotates, if their arms are held in tightly, their movement of inertia increases, they spin faster. Third, over the last 2 decades the changing climate's effects on sea levels around the equator have slowed the rate of Earth's rotation. And fourth, a process called lunar tidal friction, or the moon pulling on the Earth's oceans, has already been slowing the planet's rotation. Which of these is not true? One of these is wrong. The entire article in the Hindu newspaper was about how polar ice caps and their melting has been impacting the Earth's speed. That is, it is reducing the speed of the Earth very marginally, but in the long term, it might have a detrimental impact. This is all based on the idea of angular momentum, the conservation of angular momentum. That is why this analogy has been given in the second statement. If you look at the second statement, when an ice skater rotates, now this is the Olympic season. In Winter Olympics, we have the sports such as ice skating. In ice skating, when the ice skater, how do they control their speed? By movement of their arms. If their arms are held in tightly, the movement of inertia decreases. Movement of inertia is something that stops you from moving. Movement of inertia wants to put you at rest. So when it increases, your speed will reduce. When it decreases, your speed will increase. So if you have to spin faster, movement of inertia has to decrease. So the second statement is wrong. Second is the correct answer. 1, 3 and 4 here are correct. Next, question number 5. This is the article, by the way, in the newspaper. Next is question number 5. With regard to the recent inclusion of 3 wetlands into Ramsar Sites list, consider the following statement. So Government of India just announced today itself that they are including 3 new wetlands in the list of Ramsar Sites. With respect to that, listen to these statements. First, this takes India's tally of Ramsar Sites to 85. Second, the Nanjarayan Bird Sanctuary is located in Tirupur district, Tamil Nadu. Third, the Kazuveli Bird Sanctuary is a brackish shallow lake. And fourth, originating from the Mahadev Hills, the Tava River, the Tava Reservoir, by the way, is the third one included. The Tava River is the longest tributary of the Narmada River. How many of these are correct? Difficult statement, because most of the people, what they do is when they hear the news, they just remember the names of the 3 sites. So you would remember the name of these 2 bird sanctuaries and the Tava Reservoir, but you don't go into slight more detail. That is where the question is coming from. With respect to that, all the 4 statements here are absolutely correct. Now India has a total of 85 Ramsar sites. 2 from Tamil Nadu, 1 from Madhya Pradesh have been added to this list now. There are many news articles that are carrying this news. Tomorrow the newspapers will also carry this news because it came out today itself. So I've taken this from the Down to Earth website that gets updated real time. So the Down to Earth website has a long article about how Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have gotten new Ramsar sites. To end the session again, I have an important infographic for all of you. This time around, I wanted to share with you the status of India's steel production and steel consumption. As you can see here, India's steel production and consumption million tons has been increasing. These are good signs. Both look at the production, the blue bar, and also the production of finished steel, crude steel, all of this is increasing, and so is the steel consumption in India, which is a good sign. This brings us to the end of the session. If you are new here, do hit the like and the subscribe button. Do check out my Android app as well with a lot of courses which are helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye. Jai Hind.